Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of GamesQuestions. Before we get on with the questions this week, I just wanted to quickly address Binding of Isaac. So we've been made aware of some confusion caused in last week's episode of GamesQuestions. During that episode, I stated that it was currently in project data analysis and that we didn't currently have a fulfillment start date to provide at that time. We would just like to confirm that the fulfillment of Binding of Isaac is scheduled to start on the week commencing March the 27th, and I would like to personally apologise for any confusion or concern caused during that episode. Next up, I also wanted to just give another customer service update. So our customer service team are working incredibly hard, however, they are still currently receiving a high number of support tickets. This means the response time is still around about 15 days. And we'd like to apologise for the delay and inconvenience caused in the meantime. Just a reminder once again that if you have submitted a customer service ticket, please do not reply to your own ticket if you're still waiting for a response from the team. This just reduces the priority of the ticket. So please don't respond. We understand it's frustrating when you're waiting for a reply, but please don't respond to your own support ticket in the meantime to avoid any further delays there. Next up, we've had a lot of inquiries about what a lot of the terms mean that we use, such as project data analysis. So I've just left a link in the bio below where it'll direct you to our website, and there's like a page with what each status means and what that means for fulfillment. So if you're interested, please make sure to check that out, and we hope it's useful for you. So with that out of the way, let's start off with the questions on the UK blog. First up, we'll start with casting shadows. So we've had some inquiries and concerns with backers who've not received a email about their casting shadows order just yet. I just confirm that fulfillment is still currently underway, and backers will receive a dispatch email once their order has been dispatched and scanned into the courier system. As I just said, though, fulfillment is still currently underway, and if you follow our social media channels, you would notice we put an update yesterday with just how we're progressing with that. So the EU fulfillment is currently on 61%, so that's 61% of all orders have been processed and dispatched. And for UK, we were around about 80% yesterday. So if you haven't had a dispatch email, just be aware that they are still currently going out the door. So no need to be concerned just yet. Following up from our previous casting shadow updates as well, we mentioned how we were starting off with the smaller orders and then we'd progress to the larger orders. This is an update to just say the medium and larger orders are also now being processed and dispatched for UK orders of casting shadows. We have multiple teams working on it, so they are actually running alongside some of the smaller orders that are still currently being processed. So this is just a heads up that if you are a UK backer of casting shadows, to just keep an eye out for that email over the next week with that tracking information. So yeah, hopefully that information is useful. And with that, we're going to move over to Blood and Plunder. So we've had backers reaching out wondering when is the fulfillment start date for Blood and Plunder, and I'm pleased to announce that once either Casting Shadows or Scarface 1920, which is currently they're both underway, once one of them have been completed, Blood and Plunder will be next up. So fulfillment is definitely in sight, and as always, if you follow our social media channels, we'll aim to get an update out once that has begun to backers to keep you all updated as much as possible. But yeah, so if you're not following our social media channels, we're on Facebook and Twitter as GamesQuest, and we're also on Instagram as gamesquest.co.uk. So make sure to follow our pages and come and join our community over there as well. And with Blood and Plunder out the way, we'll head over to Vindication. Just like Blood and Plunder, we have backers requesting a fulfillment start date for this. It's still currently in project data analysis. We tend to, and it does have a provisional start date in mind. However, just to ensure that the information we provide is 100% accurate, we like to hold off providing that fulfillment start date until we're in final admin checks. So in the meantime, I would just say just monitor the blog, and once we are at them final admin checks, we will be in a better position to hopefully provide that information. Next up, we have Riae, the graphic novel. I'm pretty sure I haven't said that name correctly, so apologise for the mistake there. We have a few American backers who are still waiting to receive their orders. And waiting to receive their orders and are after an update on that. So the latest update I have from the team is that the American orders are still currently being processed to be sent to the US. We know you guys have been waiting a long time for this, and you've been super patient, so apologies there. Apologies there. We're working to get them to you as soon as possible, and we're in communication with the publisher to ensure that happens. So that's the latest update there. As soon as I have word that they've been dispatched, I will update on one of these episodes of GamesQuestions, just so you have as much information as we can provide with that. So hopefully we'll follow up with another update at a later date to just say that they are now on the way. But that is the latest update for that. Next up, we have an update for LAX RAX. So packaging has been completed for that, and it's very close now to final admin checks. We have a provisional start date, but as mentioned previously, we tend to not confirm starting dates until we're in admin checks, just in case, just as it's subject to change, and we don't want to be in a situation where we say something's going to start and doesn't. So we tend to hold off until final admin checks. So in the meantime, just keep an eye on the blog to follow updates for that. And like I said, once it's in final admin checks, we'll be in a better position to provide that fulfillment start date. The last update on the UK blog this week is for Wise Wizards Star Realms Nova. The remaining of the UK orders for Star Realms Nova is expected to be shipped out this week. Just a heads up that the way it's being shipped is the core games will be shipped out first, and the playmats will follow at a later date. So if you are waiting for a playmat, please don't be concerned that that's not on your order in the meantime. We'll also make a note of this on the blog for next week. So you're kept up to date, and then once the playmats start going out, we can also leave an update there. So just to keep everyone in the loop as much as possible. So last up, we have a backer who hasn't received an update for hasn't received a dispatch email for their order of Station Fall. And I can see here that you've reached out via a support ticket to our customer service team. Just a heads up there that there is currently a delay on that. However, I will pass this on to the customer service team that you have reached out, and hopefully you can get an update to you shortly regarding your order. And if there is any issues with it, the team will work to resolve this and make sure you get your order. So that's, I believe, all the questions and updates for the UK. As always, if you need any further clarification, please just drop us a message across one of our social media channels and we'll be able to assist further there. But on that, we'll head over to the EU blog for the EU updates. So let's start off with Casting Shadows EU. So Casting Shadows for the EU is still progressing. We posted an update across our social media channels yesterday to just it was around about 61% complete. We don't currently have a fulfillment completion date. However, considering the amount of orders to be fulfilled throughout this project, the team are making amazing progress at getting them shipped off to backers. Just a heads up that there are more orders being shipped out of our EU hub on this occasion. So we're expecting UK fulfillment to be completed first. Just in case you felt like UK fulfillment was progressing faster, that's not the case. It's just there's less orders there. We have a few more backers who are after additional information for Casting Shadows as well. For instance, Anna was wondering if the large orders will all be in one box. I have been informed that that will be the case, so just keep an eye out for that tracking in the meantime. And just a reminder that for any backers who are concerned that they haven't received a dispatch email about Casting Shadows in the meantime, that fulfillment is still underway. So there's no need to be concerned at this time. It will stay on fulfillment underway on the blog until all orders have been dispatched. So just keep an eye on there in the meantime, and we'll quite happily keep providing updates whilst we progress throughout the fulfillment. And on that, we'll head over to Kapow from Wise Wizards. So Kapow is now close to being in final admin checks. We're aiming to start this as soon as possible, as we know you guys have been waiting patiently for it. While we're on the topic of Wise Wizards, we'll also give you an update regarding Star Realms Nova, which is the remaining of Star Realms Nova orders are to be shipped out shortly. Just a heads up that the core game will be shipped out to backers first, and these will be followed by the playmats. So that is the latest update for Wise Wizards. Next up, we have an update for Maximum Apocalypse Wasted Wilds from Rock Manor Games. So fulfillment for this is currently in the packaging stage, which on the blog is listed as project data analysis. So once this is completed, we'll be closer to final admin checks, and once we're at final admin checks, we will be in a better position to provide a kind of scheduling time for that project. So it's just a little bit too soon to provide that information at the meantime. However, it is progressing, and we're just waiting for the packaging to be approved to move on to the next stage. So yeah, I believe that's all the updates for the projects people are wondering about this week. And as always, the blogs will be back on Tuesday, and questions. So make sure you get your questions in for Thursday. And just a reminder that we also post regularly across our social media channels. So please drop us a follow there if you already haven't in the meantime. Once again, apologies for any confusion that's ever been caused with any of these answers. We regularly reflect on what's working and what isn't, and the last thing we want to provide is the last thing we want to do is cause any confusion to the community. So apologies that did happen last week. And I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who has left feedback on GamesQuestions, and the nice comments we receive as well to say that this is useful and working. So thank you there. But yeah, as I said, we'll be back next week. So until then, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.